budget tonight will detail some pretty significant increases in payments in welfare, although we're yet to get the detail on some of them. Joining me live is the CEO of ACOSS, Cassandra Goldie. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tom.
We keep hearing about sort of, tough budget times. It seems like almost a bit of a bonanza. Single parent payment, eligibility for that extended. We're going to see, it looks like, some form of increase to job seeker, and then power relief payments basically focused on those who need it most. It feels like a pretty positive result for your sort of advocacy?
Well, we certainly hope so, and it should be. I mean, let's remember, we've had over 3 million people living in poverty. Australia's a very wealthy country, Tom, and there are clear reasons why we've had so many people reporting going without food, going without medicines, unable to pay their energy bills, extreme financial deprivation and the mental anguish that goes with that. So we've got the lowest unemployment payment, job seeker or youth allowance, of all of those OECD countries. It is absolutely time for us to get that fixed. As you know, broad support for a substantial increase to job seeker. It's only $50 a day at the moment, and youth allowance is $40 a day. Now, we were delighted to hear the announcement from the Prime Minister yesterday about the single parent payment finally being restored, at least until your youngest child is 14.
Is that a fair enough age? The PM was asked about this. It was once 16. He said, look, at 14, that's your youngest child, by the way, so the other one might be 16, for example. There's a fair bit of independence. Is that fair enough?
Look, the single parent analysis was very clear. Children don't get cheaper as they get older. That's what we do know.
But it's easier to get out
what will
and find
happen
work,
is
isn't it? Not have to worry about putting
once
your kids
the
in
youngest child turns 14, the parent will then go on to job seeker. Now, job seeker is not enough, and it's not enough for anybody. We've got over 1 million people who are struggling to survive on that payment. And look, we're in an environment now, we can fix this. The payment rate, job seeker, is so low that it's a barrier to people seeking paid work. You know, whether you're a single parent or you're a young person or you're a person with a chronic illness, you're trying to get in and out of some kind of paid work whilst you're not being able to work full time. You shouldn't be in financial deprivation. Ken Henry, Chris Richardson, all the leading economists in Australia have called this out to say we need to fix it.
It had one real increase not so long ago. What does this one need to be for you to give it a pass mark?
We've certainly said it needs to go to the pension rate. That would be $76 per day. Now, the Economic Inclusion Advisory Committee, I was a member of that, came to a shared view as a finding that if we could get it to at least 90% of the pension rate, so that would be $70 per day, that would restore it to where it was in the late 1990s before successive governments cut away at the adequacy of this payment.
So you'll be looking at 70, and any lower than that, you'll keep pushing. If it's 70, you'll go, look, we'll take that.
You know, we will look at the budget tomorrow night and see overall what is done.
Okay.
It's very, very critical that we get this right. I mean, everybody's talking about the cost of living. Rents are going up. Energy bills predicted to go up by another 20%. It's severe. I've not seen it like this.
Rental assistance too.
That's
a lot of things to sift through. We'll see what they are. I'm interested in as well, because you've been one of the groups saying, get your priorities right, stage 3 tax cuts expensive. Yes. There's a lot of spending on welfare areas coming up. Is it fair enough that you also need to look at incentives on tax? We haven't had the top marginal tax bracket shift for 16 years. It can't just sit there forever.
Yeah.
So do you get why the government would also say, look, at this stage, we're going to keep a tax cut? Phase 1 and 2 were for lower middle income earners. Phase 3 is for higher. It's not communism. You do have incentive in capitalism.
Yeah. Let's talk about the relativities of the spending. I mean, because let's remember that there have been cuts to social security, cuts to job seeker, cuts to family payments, freezing of Commonwealth rent assistance, billions saved out of the social security budget over the last 2 decades, tightening of access to the disability support pension, cutting single parents off on their payments, billions taken out of that, which have been going, largely to us continuing to be able to provide a whole range of tax breaks for people. Now, Ken Henry and we agree that we do not have enough revenue overall all as a country for us to invest in the critical things like aged care, childcare, all those essential services that everybody really wants and needs to rely on. So we do need to look at our tax base. We don't support the stage 3 tax cuts because they are so generous at the very high end in terms of
Maybe a
people on the
change,
marginal
but
rate.
something's going to happen. The marginal tax rate.
But we would also like to see
Can't
us
stay
look
the
at
same
some of
forever.
the loopholes, the base, broadening the base of the income tax system. And we're absolutely up again for a big look overall at tax because we want to get both more revenue and some good measures to help with housing affordability and tackling climate change.
See what's in there. Cass Goldie, thank you.
Thanks a lot.